brain sluice, slick with ectoplasmic juice. Ecstatic energy, a fire that fuels our memory. With genealogy, with spiritual topography. Questions for your answers, we are data necromancers.
That's been going. Okay, I had 2 out of 3 things going.
As soon as I turned into your neighborhood, what happened?
Nothing. Oh, just it's happening.
As soon as I turned,
I have 1 hour before I have to be at the doctor.
As soon as I turned into your neighborhood, I was like, yeah. It's just this spirit that fills me up as soon as I get in your vicinity.
It's the real Avril Lavigne, because the conspiracy theory is that she's dead. She's dead.
She's been replaced by a lookalike. I don't know about that.
Fail? What failed?
Who failed?
Where do we start?
Where should we start? I've been away in another country for a couple of weeks, and Whitney's been here holding down the fort. Andy's here,
yes.
So
Okay.
Whitney's been cooking a baby still, and having a toddler.
I just want it out already. I just want to look at her. I'm tired of this part. When you came back, we went to a Mexican restaurant.
Yeah.
And it was delicious. I had never been there.
Yeah, I was still a little rattled from my jet lag.
But what you were expressing was not how I anticipated you to come back, because it sounded like you went on the journey of the soul.
Huh, interesting. What made you say that?
I anticipated to hear about art, but instead you're like, the food was hot trash. The ingredients were good, which I was like, that makes sense, you know.
Well, I think that I did myself a disservice because I hyped it up so much, because there's so much.
To Sicily and Rome, however, it's like seeing real footage. You're kind of like, oh, it's like peak tourist season.
Yeah, I mean, it was amazing. It was glorious. I loved being in that place. The olive trees, the apricot trees, pomegranate trees, all the little lizards and birds and stuff, like swallows dipping into the pool. It was beautiful. I screwed up by getting sunburned almost the first or second day.
You're kind of a suntanning nut. Like you've got all sorts of lotions. When we came over,
I don't really go outside that much. I don't really know.
You're just being a good host. You're just offering your suntan lotion to us, and
yeah, it's all like SPF 50 anyway.
That's good though.
It is good, but I didn't put it on my belly for some reason. I just like blew it, and so that kind of.
It was a belly
shaped
blowout.
My experience a little bit, because it was really bad, and I had some not heat stroke, but like heat exhaustion and pain and suffering as a result. But beautiful setting, incredible olive trees everywhere, 250 years old. It all seems so distant now.
It makes you wonder what sort of native fruit trees were here. I guess every region would be completely different. There's like cherry trees but we've completely kind of decimated a lot of that.
Well, apple trees and cherry trees, I believe, are endemic to Central Asia. So they all came over
from Asia
through colonization. But as far as like native stuff, I want to say like pecan maybe, but I don't have a wealth of knowledge about native fruit trees.
Ponds.
Crayon trees.
Anyways.
Cranberry bogs.
Sorry, topsoil erosion. No food has any nutrients anymore. Welcome to America.
But I missed you.
I missed you too. Yeah, it was.
I wished you were there, but the amount of sunlight and heat that was there, you wouldn't have survived.
Yeah. I was reading that Rome was like one of the hottest cities to be in, and it was like peak travel time.
The news was like interviewing American tourists on the Spanish Steps, which is right where we were staying, about the heat wave, and that's what we have to look forward to.
Yay! probably got at least 70 years. I
was musing about this
years.
on my Patreon yesterday, how like we've always had this obsession with the end, because I'm reading this book called In the Shadow of the Sword that like goes back to, you know, the beginning of Judaism and Christianity and Islam, and how the end is always right around the corner.
Oh yeah.
But I mean, nowadays it seems more palpable because like of climactic reasons.
Does anybody know? Well, apparently the Earth is tilting. That is also what's happening. Yeah. Not a ton, but enough to affect weather. Does anybody know anything more about that? I saw like a little BBC clip. Or it wasn't BBC, it was somewhere else. But
Stop.
I didn't plan on diving into climate just because I had so much to say about all the other stuff that happened. But the Earth is tilting a little bit more on its axis. So time to live underground.
To expose, like, because it's kind of tilted now, but is it tilting like more upright or more
I think
wacky?
More wacky. Somebody confirm. Hurry, somebody confirm.
That is going to change everything. Huh. And aren't we losing the moon as well?
Are we losing the moon, ladies? This is what the Discord is for. Are we losing the moon? I have no idea.
I'm pretty sure the moon gets further and further away, like every billion years or something.
The moon, whatever.
Well, our lifespans are so short. We never really have to deal with the effects of our actions, the consequences of our actions. We just have to think about like the generations that we're bequeathing this unto, and we don't really think about that, you know?
No, we have to do the anti-boomer thing and try to...
Oh, I know we have to do, but up until now, it's like, oh, I don't care, it's not my problem.
I was watching the James Webb documentary last night, and I always forget how this sometimes makes me really mad. This telescope took, I don't know, like 25 years to make, or 20 years. And it's this huge fucking thing, because this is going to show us
the beginning of time.
Right. But to me, they're like, and then they were all shocked that it's doubled. And I'm just like, why wouldn't it?
What's doubled?
The age of our universe.
Ah.
To me, you're watching like so many astrophysicists talk, like they want to see the beginning. So if I point this telescope, I'm going to see the beginning. And I'm like, when are you going to realize that the more we catch up with being able to see further, the further it's gonna fucking go. You know, it's like, we don't know anything. So, and to me, I've always thought it's super linear to, well, if I point in this direction, we're gonna see back in time, you know, via our calculations. And then it's way crazier than they thought it was going to be. And it's just like, yeah,
I need to read about that.
Because we're also, it was crazy to think of all the things that went wrong with the telescope. And I want to know, obviously you have a bunch of the world's smartest people making a fucking huge thing. But a big setback was they were sound testing it, and then they used a cryo freezer to see what it's, how it could withstand temperatures.
Uh-huh.
But somebody didn't lock all the bolts.
Oh, jeez.
So there was like, I don't know, 20,000 bolts that weren't locked. So they had to spend $150 million and 6 months or however long to
repair the mirror,
to tighten all the bolts or to get the correct locking mechanism. And I'm like, man, is this one of those, you know, it was a disaster from the start. They said it was going to be a failure. All these issues because of setbacks like that. It's like, is it because it's not holistic? Because how many engineers are you having go over your crazy? Are there engineers that can go over that and be like, what are you guys doing? No, don't do that. Do it this way.
Yeah.
Like, it's so narrow, you know, because they're just trying to build this delicate thing made with wires that has to unfold in a fucking 20 degrees above absolute zero. And then
it's really amazing. It's so far beyond my wheelhouse.
It's funny to me. I'm like, why don't we grow something that can just, I don't know. I feel like we need to send a material that is
a contingent of mushrooms.
Yes, exactly.
But if we send something biological out, which is, it's going to happen anyway. It already has happened. If we send something biological out, then we risk seeding the universe with our own little spermatoza.
I know.
Which is going to happen anyway.
Spermatoza.
And maybe we are the result of some other species, seeding the universe with its spermatoza.
Oh, yeah. Well, and I don't think the answer... I don't think the answer is this linear equation. I don't think it's like, oh, we started way back here and then it's gone forth since then. I think it's really complicated and we don't know. And we have a hard time comprehending if there is ever really a beginning or if there is an end or...
Something that I noticed in Italy was that chaos is rampant and
we love it.
Everyone is going all directions all at the same time, like traffic wise, people wise, everything is happening all at once, but there are patterns that you can kind of pick up on and see how the chaos is kind of self-governing in a way. And I feel like when you set out to create a project like the James Webb telescope, you have a particular end in mind.
A bird. What is a big group of birds that are all just kind of like
the susurration of the fucking birds. But you have to remember that you're kind of like opening a portal of possibility. Like whatever you intend is going to happen. Like, that's not the only thing that's going to happen. It's gonna cause a chain reaction to all these other things that are going to happen, just like the bolts not being screwed down, or like there's going to be a fracture.
There's equations for chaos. They're like, oh, well, a percentage of this is just going to be fucking, we don't even know. But
yeah, so like the accounting for the chaos is really interesting to me.
It's also like, and Full Metal brings up a good point. It was like, we managed to power flight 100 years ago. Like, we're still...
That was fueled by pure hubris, don't you think?
Oh,
because of the space race with the USSR, we were like, we're fucking doing it. Well, there's no question.
Meanwhile, you have tribes and stuff who are going, what? Like, why?
Well, yeah, like animistic, like nomads have communed with the stars for eons, and they like
we don't need to go anywhere.
They have their own knowing about the stars, but science-minded, empirical people are like, we're gonna go there. And we're gonna find out for sure.
They did, and we just haven't been doing this time around. I'm a firm believer that we have done this many times before, but this time around, we haven't been doing this for very long, and so I'm like a futuristic optimist, frustratedness person, because I'm like, so by the time you're done building the telescope, it's already outdated because it took you 20 fucking years to do it.
I still think it's worthy. It's a worthy cause.
100%.
I'm a huge astronomy, cosmology head.
You need to do it in order to see that the universe is double the amount.
Knowing more about our environment, and if you extend it out, our solar system, our galaxy, our universe, is knowing more about ourselves and like the content of our matter and like why things are the way they are. I think it's really important.
And I think we're so stuck in matterness because we do live in the third dimension that there are answers that can't be found because of our 3D obsession.
Yeah. And like,
so you can keep going, but guess what? You might not fucking find anything until you start, to me, doing more sciences on like, consciousness. We still have no idea how it works, if it's centrally located anywhere.
Did you read about the gravitational waves?
No.
Okay, I should have read about it so I could tell you about it. I saw a headline and
I should have read about it, corner.
The first paragraph. But they like proved the existence of gravitational waves and how it like alters our matter. But I was gonna say like maybe 66% of our universe is made up of not matter. like antimatter or dark matter or something that we don't understand, like dark energy. So that's pretty promising that we can sort of quantify it by noticing the negative space that it leaves. It's like, a lot of what's pushing the expansion of the universe is not actually
not
matter.
A tangible thing that we understand. And I just want us to make a leap in the direction of not knowing, oh fuck, we've got this thing we can't really quantify. We can hypothesize day in and day out about this, but I in my lifetime I just want to see us dip a toe into like, oh fuck, we fucking figured it out. But I sometimes I feel like we're all hamster balls in a hamster wheel, and I don't really know how far we're gonna get. But I love how like junk DNA, like there's so many scientists screaming that it's like, no, it isn't just
like
junk
things they
DNA.
can't identify the purpose of.
It's like, why do you gotta call it that? Why do you have to dismiss that? Be like, call it dark DNA. Like, I don't know what's in it.
Because
Murphy, I'm about to banish your ass outside.
I guess it's hard for scientists to admit they don't know.
Why?
Because of the ego, I think, that goes along with it. And
hey,
if
man,
there's holes in your
if
theory, then you can't put forth a theory, right?
I
don't
get
know.
a big fucking raging hard on if we don't know something. Oh, cool. What lies in that possibility? Like, oh, we don't know.
Because then we can fill it with myth and legend and lore, and we can
That's
sort
where
of...
our whimsy, pussy, scented...
It's like, well, there's holes between all these things we know, so we'll just fill it with what comes intuitively to us.
Yes. In fact, I can read your mind right now.
Fucking dragons.
Oh, right. You ready for my EV story?
Your electric vehicle? Yeah.
Also known as the EV.
Evil.
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 Lucas's parents got an electric car because it was like $400 cheaper to rent one. And Pam was not happy about it because I don't know what to do. What is this thing how do we do it? And we had plans to go to my sister's, which was an hour north, and then San Antonio for fun. I thought they were just going to get a regular car. I made those plans with the idea of a gas-powered car in mind.
Oh, because of the range of an electric
But I was
vehicle.
like, the range is 300 miles. It's fucking plenty. Like,
yeah.
Whatever. I thought you could plug it in and charge it. And I was so outrageously wrong. And that kept hitting me in the face over and over again. Because I thought, okay, we'll plug it in. I found a plug in the trunk because Lucas's barber mentioned that it comes with a plug. Because they don't tell you that at the rental place. You just have to figure that out. But we don't have the right converter for our dryer plug because it needs a higher voltage
yeah.
to charge that doesn't take 4 days or whatever. So that's kind of a bummer. And then we're having this issue as it's plugged in overnight and stuff that it is not going beyond 86 miles. So we dig into the settings, and that's a setting. It's a cap. It's 88 miles to San Antonio.
Why? Okay, keep going.
So Lucas is like, do we take the truck? I'm like, no, we can't fit people in the truck, and it's hot. And no, we just won't go. He's like, well, I'll bring it to the rapid charger at the grocery store and we'll rapid charge it. Okay, well, it stops. He boops the bar up.
Yeah.
Well, it stops at 90. He's like, it won't charge beyond 90. And I'm like, oh, this seems inherent. Like we're jumping into a hurricane of chaos a little bit.
Yeah.
Well, San Antonio's 88 miles away. We could, I don't know. So we go there. Mm-hmm. And then imagine us for 4 hours going to 4 different charging stations. And it's 4 degrees out. Feels like 115. And I'm like in a Walmart parking lot, like banging on a electric gas, lightning fueled monolith being like, please, I thought I could just plug this in and that it would work. I thought that was the whole idea.
That would be the strong suit.
Okay,
Yeah.
but the thing you're forgetting is we went to charging stations that were completely full. We went to charging stations where all of them were broken. We went to the Walmart one, had 2 of 9 stations were working. And so I'm like talking to this. Oh, he's a nerd. He like had a neck air conditioner and really small sunglasses and a big fucking gun. He's like open carrying, and I'm just like, this dude's a fucking idiot. But I was like,
he sounds like an anime freak.
I was like, can I pick your brain? And he's like, yeah, what do you need to know? And I was like, this keeps happening. Why is this happening? I'm not finding what I need to find on the internet. The thing won't charge it. And he's like, oh, your car's probably too hot. And I'm like, oh, okay. Do you want me to drive into a refrigerator? I need to get fucking home.
Yeah.
Like, I felt so naive because I just thought that we could just plug it in and then it would charge and then bada bing, bada boom. And he's like, no, they get too hot, so the battery has safety mechanisms to like shut it down. And then he starts telling me about this lipo battery or something that'll charge a battery in 20 minutes. And I'm like, that's so cool. Wish I had access to that technology right now, but I fucking don't. And no one's helpful, and everybody's just circling you like a shark to try to steal your spot. And then we're going down the highway, and Lucas is like, we've got, we're praying because of how there's just not a lot of miles.
And is there like a little green space where you have to stay like on the odometer, or not the odometer,
yeah, and I keep telling Lucas, I'm like, dude, just keep slamming on your brakes on the highway when no one's behind us, just to like kind of get some regen, because it'll regenerate energy that way. And it's working. Like, we're getting like 10 extra miles that way. We pull over and we go to some other abandoned charging station behind 1,000 strip malls. I'm so over the fucking strip mall. It is just the ugliest, hottest place ever. The app, you have to download an app and then tap the app to the monolithic thing and then it'll charge. There's no button.
There's no button.
There's no button.
There is no button.
And Lucas is like, I can't get this fucking app to work. It keeps giving me an error. Can you download it? I'm like, yeah, my phone's dying. But I'll download it anyways. Download the app. It like won't register the VIN. It's like, your car can't be found. I'm like, you know, at a gas station, you just grab the fucking thing and then there's a fucking mechanical button and
yeah.
You guys gotta come on. Like, you're putting too many variables. There's too many points of failure.
Yeah.
If my phone doesn't work and then the app isn't working and then they want you to call them, I'm like, are you going to send somebody out in 4 days? Like, what do you... So we get back on the highway and Lucas and I are freaking out because we're thinking it might go into limp mode on the highway.
Oh yeah, I saw that on Top Gear once. Go on.
So then Lucas is like, what do we do? I turn to my right. There's a big, what's it called?
Golden Arches.
Water
tower.
Water tower. You know what it says on it?
Charge your dicks here.
Charge your EV vehicle here, hassle free. It says go forth. I was like, oh, keep going.
We gotta keep going, babe. This thing said just to go.
So we keep going. It goes into limp mode the second we get off the highway. And we were like partying so hard because it's going 2 miles an hour to our house now. But I tried to charge it yesterday. And this is fucking up the whole day to like go out of your way to a supercharger to try to do the thing with a kid, and it's fucking hot out and people are yelling at me at the pump because they need to get in there with their fancy Mustang, EV Mustang and whatever. And I'm like ready to fight somebody. We leave it in. This woman is so mad at me because I'm using my gas-powered truck to hold the spot for Lucas, who's on his way.
Oh, shit.
And I'm like, I know, it's not what it looks like. I'm sure this is a very frustrating thing to witness as a bystander. Leave me alone. I will eat your scalp. I will eat your scalp in front of your husband. I will cover myself in your blood. Like, just leave me alone. So Lucas finally like comes up, gets in there, plugs it in. He's all worried she's gonna unplug it. And I'm like, no, I don't think anybody's gonna do that. He sees on the app an hour later. Meanwhile, I have Erica over and her children and Ruby and like just chaos city. Lucas is like, you need to go check on the car. It's charging us like money, but it's not charging the car. It just won't charge. Like, I don't know if it's the car or the pump or the whatever. And then this fucking bummed me out so bad. Security guard sees me park my gas-powered vehicle next to my EV vehicle and get out to see if I can reinitiate a charge sequence, in which I see that it has reset itself to 80 miles. So I turn the car off, turn it on, and boop it back up to the 300 miles, and it says, cannot complete charge. And I'm like, I give up. This is the end. This is the end of my journey.
Everything explode now.
Everything explode now. And the fucking security guard comes out and
on
goes,
a Segway.
Are you trying to get gas? And I had never wanted to fight somebody more in my life, because I'm like, oh yeah, is this the gas pump? Oh, I didn't. Oh, this big thing that says electric vehicle charging station only. Like, oh, I'm sorry. Because I was in the electric vehicle when he asked that.
Well, maybe he's not privy to the science of nature or electric vehicles.
I wanted to kick him in the nuts. Just because
it's probably not the first time somebody's wanted to kick him in the nuts. Damn, dude. So now you're completely against electrical vehicles?
No. No, you know me. I want to figure something out.
Yeah.
And I won't fucking sleep until I figure it out. It brings up, my therapist has a term for when I do this. She's like, why don't you want to have a C-section again? And I was like, because Western medicine
failed you.
Yeah, it's like a bigger system issue. And she's like, it's beyond my pay grade. I have no idea how to help you. The EV stuff brings up a lot of like
systems not functioning how they should.
Well, and why would we? This whole country sucks the dongs of the fossil fuel elites. Yeah. It brainwashes people into thinking the dumbest shit. We have no interest in innovation.
Doesn't the president have like some infrastructure rev up package that includes like fixing charging stations and stuff like that?
Do they? Discord, do your thing.
But like, I don't know. The Supreme Court keeps on knocking him back.
Why?
Because they don't want to spend money.
It's crazy to see how much of the country was built on stimulus packages post World War II, the post the Great Depression. There were these things that changed. Oh, America. Talking about the Great Depression makes Murphy sick.
Don't put your throat against the table, honey.
I've never watched a dog hurt themselves. Like, he whacks his head into stuff all the time. He trips over stuff. He's a genetic anomaly.
Yeah. Oh, Murphy. I wonder what his parents were like. Just like him. They were probably brother and sister. Just like him.
Just like him.
So, the parents-in-law are in the electrical vehicle now trying to get it charged.
Pam is very upset about the situation because of how inconvenienced it has. And also, too, to kind of just toss you an electric vehicle and not really give you any of the...
Yeah.
Especially, they're older. Like, hey, here's what's up. Let's go through this. Let's make you feel more comfortable about that. They don't
like,
care.
When you select an electric vehicle, there should be a pop-up question that says, have you operated an electric vehicle before?
Because we'll give you a nice little rundown, and here's what to do. And
right.
Here's
and then you can say yes or no, and then, But of course, probably the people who work there know nothing about operating the vehicles themselves. They just process the reservations and things like that.
I learned so much. And Lucas and I were both, they're like, we're never getting one ever again. We're like, no, if it's cheaper, get one.
Yeah.
We'll just the learning curve here was extremely steep. I'm not against it, but we won't drive to Killeen and we won't drive to San Antonio, and
What'd you do in San Antonio?
I wanted to go check out this restaurant called Curry Barbecue. Curry Boys.
Nice.
Was it worth the drive? There's have you ever had Simply Thai's curry sauces?
Negative.
She's at the farmer's market and they make their own sauces. It's fucking out of this world.
Wow.
Out of this world. Like, best sauces. And it's all like perishable, it's not jar or canned or anything.
Fresh shit.
It's fresh shit and it's so delicious. I was like, oh, I could have just gone and got brisket and put it in the Thai curry bowl.
But you that's don't know that unless you try.
I go, and I wanted to have a nice little, we've been stuck in here losing our fucking minds. The world is melting. I'm going through a really rough period of motherhood right now, and I just wanted to maybe have a little fucking fun.
I don't blame you.
But it
destroyed me. I almost died. But here we are. We're doing the pods.
The chaos encircles me.
But it's not going to abate.
No. Never. I'm used to it by now. I frolic in it. I dance in it. I cherish it. I worship it. I drench myself in it. I gargle with it.
Yes.
It's who I am. It's who I am.
That's all you can do, really.
Today, on the way to dropping off Ruby, I had to wake up. I think waking up a child is against the law. She's been getting up at 10. We've got to be at school by 9. She doesn't want to go. And it's like, part of me, it's like, why do we have to go do anything? Stay here with me. I'm your fucking mother.
Yeah.
And you want to sleep in, and why am I denying that to you? Once again, there goes Whitney. Bye. The issue that I have. And she's like, Mom, I don't want to play with other kids right now. And I'm like, fuck, man. Yeah.
I feel that.
Yeah. Fuck other kids. She says stuff to me that just like resonates so hard with me, that because it's so custom. I really want to adopt a kid just to see if it's like they don't like get into your fucking skin the same way, like your DNA does. It goes blah,
it knows all of
a foster kid is probably just like way easier to handle. I mean, who knows? It's probably not, but I'm curious. And she doesn't want to go, but this is just right in front of where I need to drop her off. There's a machine I've never seen. I don't know what this machine was for. It must be if I had to guess, it was like some sort of construction demo-y thing. It was really crazy looking. It looked like it out of a comic book, but it's like beep, beep, going the way I'm going to go. I was like, okay, I'm going to go around it. And it goes, reverses, goes in front of me. And then it extends this crazy arm out really fast. And I'm like, ah! And I like put on the gas and I get around it. I'm like, why? Why is that there? What are you doing?
Just fucking with you.
Pummel a tree? I don't even know what you're gonna do.
I love seeing big machines. They make me think of this Mongolian movie that I watched once called Kadak. And the quarries that they have out there, the machines are like as big as houses. It's insane. It's so cool to look at, but it's also terrifying.
I melt in the presence of like
big machines. You're like throwing money at it.
You're like emptied all your credit cards. Just take it.
Trying to find somewhere to swipe on the machine. Tithe.
I've seen some shit down here that I'm just like, what does that do? I don't even know.
The world is vast.
The world is vast. Insatiable Mind, to answer your question, this is a homeschooling program that I bring her to. It's just a lady, very sweet. She's part of a homeschooling group. It's tough for me because I hate the idea of I grew up poor inner city kid. So I hate the idea of abandoning poor inner city kids to go like frolic with white hippies. But I would choose a homeschooler over a fucking daycare company. And we vibe, you know, she's just trying to make a living, and they do a lot of outdoor stuff, which I love, but I would never bring my fucking kid to a kindercare. No judgment.
No judgment if you're dropping yours off at one right now.
I want to bring my kid to a home.
Yeah.
A mom who's got kids running around who's like, yeah, we're going to go over.
Well, I think
drop them off at some fucking McDonald's.
What you were talking about earlier when Ruby expressed, like, I don't want to play with other kids today. Like, she's trying to sleep till 10 a.m. Like, to what extent is it your responsibility to get her to, like, onto a schedule, like a program, because of the way that the world is? Like, everybody has to get up and go to school, everybody has to get up and go to work. Nobody wants to.
They do thrive when, like, I've reestablished a bedtime routine because there wasn't one, because I was just pregnant and tired and wanted to die all the time.
Yeah.
She was a mess.
Yeah.
So when they do thrive on knowing what's next.
Absolutely.
So, but yesterday I kept her home.
Oh, good.
Yesterday she fucking slept in until 10:15. I'm like, God damn. And she was so sweet, because I'm like, yeah, you slept for 1 billion hours. Like, how could you not be?
It makes me think about my brother. I think I brought this up on pod before, but like, he had no rules, no regulations, no expectations. He just was a crazy man doing whatever he wanted. And then someone made him go to boot camp, and he fucking thrived at boot camp. I
thought my sister Erica, when I saw her just spiraling, but she was getting up at 5 a.m. every day, but then didn't know what to do, I was like, you ever thought about joining the fucking military, you freak?
Yeah.
And I saw her light up. It had never crossed her mind.
Yeah.
And I'd brought her to the Air Force thing, office or whatever.
Recruitment desk.
Cult brainwashing.
Give us a drop of your blood.
Since I went to poor inner city schools, they fucking tried so, and I wanted to, but I soon learned that I was like, wait, what am I fighting for? Like, for us or whatever?
Police the world. And I came back, went to Target, bummed around, come back. Erica's signing all the papers. So I was like, yo, babe, they said you didn't have to do that today. We could talk about it. She's like, no, I'm going. I'm signing an 18-year contract. And I'm like, holy shit.
Okay. Fuck. You know.
Yeah. I mean, it works for a lot of people.
And it doesn't work for a lot of people.
Just like everything else. It all depends on
how's your brother doing?
Who you are.
He's on the last pod.
Oh yeah, he called in.
We haven't been. I will get around to that someday. But
he's doing good. We spoke yesterday. He's got his job. They are probably on lockdown today. I don't know. There's some weird stuff going on in the yard. I don't know. But
like violence or something, or aliens. I don't know. When I hear lockdown, I'm like, violence. The aliens are coming.
I was like washing dishes, and I was like, oh, my brother. And I turned around, and my phone was ringing, and I was like, dude, I knew it was you.
I felt your incoming message.
And he was like, yeah, no shit. We have that. We have it like that. He's like, why are you surprised? I'm like, oh, I guess I'm not. I just like to say it. It's fun to say and realize that it's true. How you doing? So it was good.
Full Metal says, I saw so many kids absolutely snap into shape a week into BMT, basic military training, I guess. Bowel movement. Because their parents, if you grew up like us, were like, what? Huh? Yeah, just my mom didn't
do it. Just do whatever you're doing. I don't know. You know what you're doing.
Where were you? There's like no structure, family time, vacation time, trip. Yeah. You know, so we do thrive. Imagine if school was like updated and we're like, today we're learning about the brain and how to give space to our emotions and how to cook and build a house, you know.
Well, I think that could be incredibly effective, but then if you push it too hard, you get like fucking Pink Floyd The Wall and kids dropping into meat grinders, and it's like too much discipline,
okay,
too much rigorous.
I'm gonna raise you to be an independent free thinker, don't obey me. School.
Got it.
There. And then they won't fucking fall into meat grinders.
I'm gonna show you how to live, but not expect you to do what I say.
Don't do what I say. Worship no one. There are no idols. Okay.
Question authority. But also, here's what I think you should do.
My dad was that for me, and I think that that's so important. I tell Ruby that, like,
what was he? Question authority?
You going to Sunday school? Don't believe anybody. Oh, you're going to school? Don't believe anybody. You know, like, he was always there, like, question everything. Everybody just wants to control you. Fuck, you know, down with the government. He was such like a big anarchist. So to a detriment, because he didn't add anything to society or culture.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, that's a good sentiment, but if you push it too far, it's just ignorance on another level.
Yeah, exactly. Can we toe the line?
We have to find balance. It's all about balance between, you know, holding yourself rigorously to a schedule or expectations, or giving yourself that day when you get to play hooky and sleep in. Like, you have to figure out how to do both.
Flexible, but then I guess we will just shit on that.
Flexible persistence is how I've been referring to it after that Mitch Horowitz book. Flexible persistence.
Yes.
Specifically enumerate your goals and also push your little nugget self to achieve them.
No.
But if you slip, if you fall, if you have to take time to like care for a loved one, or you just simply like can't pull your depressed heart out of its torpor, give yourself a day of rest. It's good. It's fine. You can get back to the grindstone the next day. But if you find yourself giving yourself a day of rest every other day, you might want to question your dedication to sparkle motion.
Sparkle motion?
It's from Donnie Darko.
Oh, okay.
This lady with red lipstick is like freaking out about, it's like a dance team, and she's like, I really question your dedication to sparkle motion. Yeah. It's like, there are so much more important things in life than fucking sparkle motion. I was going to talk to you.
I was going to tell my story about my metaphysical fucking wisdom ladies and I going to a tornado.
You witnessed environmental chaos?
No, there was a historic F5 tornado that killed 30 people, and we went to the ceremony site, and it was just so fucking rad to talk freely. I'm like, is this how LARPers feel when they like finally get to like come out of the hiding whatever thing you like or be in fear of judgment,
hiding your freakdom, let your freak flag fly,
and making jokes and being seen, and then like sharpening my skills and getting better at it. And I channeled a message for this older woman. We had to channel messages for people. We didn't know who they were. It was just envelopes, but their name was, we had all written our names on cards and put them in envelopes and shuffled them up. And this woman like cried because it was a really fucking specific message. And this person came in strong to give me the message, and it was nauseating. I had a physical, visceral reaction to it, and she has been trying to keep in touch with this entity.
Through you?
Because of what I said. Oh, I see. She like, it's been, this is why I wake up every day. You know, is because it's like, that's the mysticism where I think so much lies that we don't know. Mm-hmm. And fuck yeah.
What is it? What do you refer to yourself as? Spiritual? Not. It has to be some kind of astronaut with a different prefix.
pretzel,
soft
poop
pretzel,
maker.
some mustard.
I'm a pretzel poop maker.
Maybe a pint of beer, pint of bitter.
A pint of bitter. I'm a pint of bitter.
I could do a pint of bitter.
Anyways, that was just my tidbit. I don't know how to go forth. I released that video yesterday. Thank you so much for that supportive text, because Lucas was in the midst of building a Taj Mahal for his sweet babe, which is our bathroom, and was not.
He was at the end of
He was at the end of his rope, understandably so. But you came in clutch and said, "Fuck yeah!" Because I was like, I'm gonna get a bunch of people who are like, "This is dumb. This doesn't exist. You're stupid." And I'm like, why do I care what anybody thinks? And I'm tired of hiding. Like, I'm really tired of hiding. I've been hiding a really long time who I am, and I've come to the notion if I can't be who I am on YouTube, it may not be as successful, but I don't fucking care.
There it is. I think that
you don't care either when you make food stuff. It's like, I don't
you
fucking
just gotta
care.
do whatever your hips want to do, man. It's like, how would you do anything else? I was talking, we have this lady with a taco party. I had a good conversation with her yesterday, and she was talking about following your passion, and I was like, I can't do anything but that. Like,
it's all I can do.
I have so much passion driving me, and it's like hard enough to like hold on to it and along for the ride, but like, I don't understand why you would want to try and fit yourself into some narrowly prescribed sort of version of what you think people want, as opposed to making whatever comes naturally to you. Because if your job is to make shit once or twice or 3 times a week, you're just going to suffer a psychic break if you're continually trying to anticipate what people want to see, instead of making whatever your whole ass feels like making.
Being very close to several motovloggers and talking to so many motovloggers on the way and all the trips I've been on, it makes me ill to think of the pursuit of what topic will people click on. How about this? I just ride fun things and talk about the shit that I'm tired of hiding because I'm losing my mind if I don't tell anybody. And it's like a lot of people were commenting like, man, I had this crazy experience I couldn't explain as a kid. It freaked me out and I shut it off forever. And I'm like, oh, that's day one of the mentorship I went through. It was like, everybody has this ability. As a child, you regularly experience it, but it freaks you the fuck out, so you stop doing it. And our brains are really good at manipulating our reality or saying like, nope, to survive. And just to have 2 people say, thanks, this is making me think about those experiences I have. I'm like, oh, okay. Now people can shit on me and I'll wipe it off. Like, I don't even care.
But that's exactly it. Like, if you don't share your authentic perspective, then you can't make those kind of meaningful connections.
Right.
And what's the fucking point if you're not making meaningful connections? Like, not necessarily just with people on the internet, but if you're like not day to day letting your freak flag fly, then everything that you build is built on a lie.
Yeah, and it sucks too because I was recently poked and prodded about, oh, you know, you're really funny and really witty. Do you want to write some stuff that'll be really successful for my...
Oh, that's funny.
And it's just like...
But you don't want to be behind the scenes.
It's like, well, this was the same thing that happened at the other channel that I worked at. It's like, your intellectual property is somebody else's success, which is at the core of everything. Like, everybody's capitalizing off of someone else. And I've always been so firmly against that for myself. Obviously, we wouldn't have society if we were all like, no, this is mine, I'm not helping you, fuck you.
We'd have to make our own pens, our own fucking canned water and shit.
I've made paper before. I
made
would
these
fucking
glasses
hate to do that all the time. You'd have to cut your own chicken. And
no, that's why we have specialization.
That's why we've scrubbed the viscera from every pore of society. But anyways, I feel guarded, but I'm also, there's some weird tandem thing going on. It's like, if I can't just be who I am without giving seriously a flying fuck, and I have been operating from the influence of my old job for so long enough to the point where I'm just now going like, ooh, okay, I'm ready. I've burnt off all the steam of bullshit.
Yeah.
But
I think it's an ongoing process.
It is. It never stops. Nothing ever stops.
It'll never stop. You just have to like take a break and zoom out and be mindful of the progress that you have made and all the fucking kingdom that you've built. Like, your empire groweth. I'm stuck on Empire because of the book I'm reading.
Dude, the book you're reading, I just want to call you late at night and I'll put you on speakerphone and you just...
I have never read a history book that had the word shit in it so many times because of people dying from shitting themselves. There's like this one part where... Wait, this history book,
is that the magic word?
Is the most engaging and like interesting and like anecdotal, just like so well written and so engaging. And the topic is right up my alley, you know, and especially since I just went to Rome and that region of the world, it's all about the goings on between the 1st century AD and ostensibly now.
You had me thinking about how much I never learned about Arab history. I was like,
well, we don't. It's not part of our curriculum in the States because
absolutely
we're
not.
Like xenophobic to the letter.
Well,
like
the enemy, and it's what perpetuates the Cerberus.
It's like the war on terror is really the war on
budget.
Islam.
Yeah. Yada yada yada. Yeah.
Etc. Etc.
Did you find that book at the library?
Yeah, I was just drawn to it. I really love reading books.
Can we go back to
like
people dying from shitting themselves?
Yeah. So I think it was... Day. So the main players right now are the Roman Empire and the Persian Empire. Mm-hmm. The Persian Empire is called Iran-Shar. And the leader of Iran-Shar is called the Shahansa. And so the Shahansa is Khusro II. And it's just like this elegant but inelegant dance between fending off the barbarian nomads from the...
Which sounds absolutely terrifying.
The brink... Yeah, because they're fucking nuts.
That sounds...
I touched on the history of Attila the Hun a bit, but like the Vandals and the Goths and the Ostrogoths, the Visigoths, everybody has their own brand of cruelty and like malice and how they inflict it on... Almost every page there's like, and corpses were piled high in the streets.
You talked about that city that killed themselves when they saw the barbarians coming. I'm like, that's me. I don't want my skin deep fried in a vat of peanut oil. I like don't need that right now.
It is so blisteringly gory and violent.
Fuck yes,
and
babe.
I was thinking
people
about
are shitting themselves.
Something that I've noted while reading my book on Islam is that violence was always prolific.
Oh yeah.
Even before Christianity was established, before people were fighting in the name of God, it was incredible. Like,
why do you think Moses came down with the 10 Commandments? Yeah, it was like, yo, stop raping infants. Stop. Like, right? We needed something to be like, you can't just sit and rape and pillage and murder and constantly.
It's that question we always come back to, like that dark side. Like, who are we without government, without religion, without some type of value system that anchors us in this reality with respect to others?
We are violent sperm. I think we're a science experiment just going faster than we need to be going.
Always. We're always just hurtling through space at like 669 miles an hour,
420 miles an hour, just fucking 69ing ourselves into a fucking absolute banana split Sunday oblivion. It's just...
Did I tell you about the Empress Theodora?
Mm-mm.
So the page on her, I had to like read 5 times because I was like, wait, what?
Badass babe?
She became a badass bitch, but her history, like the way that she grew up, was terrifying. Like, she was a prostitute before she hit puberty, and she was incredibly poor, but I guess her activities, as they were, her profession, created this sort of like desire to have those types of situations. And I won't tell the pod now, you should just look it up.
Empress
Theodora. But so her sort of reputation preceded her, and then she became like the life partner of Justinian, who was really important in the Roman Empire, because they were Christian all of a sudden, and her past as a prostitute was even more important because she had made a total sort of rehabilitation based on her religion. So it's like she was even more an example of Christ's ministry on earth because she was redeemed. You know what I mean? Like that sense of like having lived this kind of life, and now she's like the Empress of the Holy Roman Empire, and she like believes in God with every fiber of her being. And that, it's just like, I've never had such tangible, believable instances of human beings in a history book. It's always like, whoa, so passive, and like there were 6 men and they were on a hill and all of a sudden there was a cannonball and it was over. It's not like this man was riding home to his wife and she was pregnant and
it's like
they had 3 kids.
All those relatable bits where you're like, oh shit.
Yeah, and it's like 6th century. I never even thought about the 6th century before. What? And there was like outbreaks of the bubonic plague in the 6th century. Yeah, you were saying
we only knew about the
I
massive
was only thinking
one.
about like the 14th century one, the Black Death, but this was obviously the same disease because they had the swollen buboes and, oh man, the gory details of what it was like to be in a walled city when everybody has the plague is so nuts. Oh my God, if I may. So there was a pit where they, the emperor like wanted all of the plague bodies to go, but it was filling up, so we had people go in and squash it down with their feet like they were squashing grapes.
And like bubos and flesh.
Yeah, and
like
you would like step outside your little doorway and slip because the melted flesh in the street would just be everywhere.
And then soap, well, I don't know, I know our history of soap is not as
they may or may not have had soap in ancient Rome because they had it in ancient Greece. And
can you imagine just like some dude like walking through, Jello corpses and just covered in absolute like naughty, disgusting bacteria, and then like going to go fuck his bitch, and you're like, ah! Yucky, yuck,
so yucky.
What's the name of the book?
In the Shadow of the Sword.
In the Shadow of the Sword
by Tom Holland. It jumps around a little bit like on the timeline, and you're like, oh, 632, 459, where are we, what's going on? But it takes into account like the different empires, the different rulers, like the succession of rulers, and basically it's building the world. He's showing us all the different things that led up to the establishment of Muhammad the Prophet, his city of Medina, and then his religious pilgrimage, the Hajj, that goes around the Kaaba. So like he's basically setting everything up. I'm halfway through the book already, but it's like this thick. So I'm just so happy with the book that I'm reading. I know I'm always talking about the book that I'm reading, but it's truly one of my passions. Another book that I picked up randomly from Half Price before I went on my trip, and I actually finished it before I even left the country because it was so edible. It's called Nina Gathering, and it's about this young woman who, she was living in Baltimore, but then like end times happened. It was like this chemical warfare thing, and people in the cities were like dying of cholera, so her mom sent her west, never eat soggy weenies, west, to like find her aunt in West Virginia. And then like all the cities died. There's a bunch of people who underwent the change because they were assaulted by the chemicals, but it didn't kill them. It just like mutated their bodies. And then there's this dude called the Barter Man, where her aunt will like go and collect like medicinal herbs and stuff, and then go barter for stuff that they actually need to like for their homestead. It was so interesting. But then her like weird Uncle Ted like comes out of nowhere and like fucks shit up, and then the Barter Man is involved. And there's also this like walled Christian city, I forget what they're called, but they like will raid people's peaceful villages and like kill people, like sending them to heaven. It was pretty gnarly, and I would recommend it.
It's a way more fun to read than Naomi Wolf's End of America.
Oh shit, is that a doomsday?
Yeah, because it talks about all the really, really bad things Congress was passing after 9/11 that
just like slipping it in,
just absolutely
bonkers
fucked our rights as Americans, and people were forgetting what democracy actually is.
I see.
Yeah. And I was like
security measure, or like veiled as security measures.
Yeah, I think one of them was like, oh, you're a suspected terrorist, you don't get a court of law. Yeah, like we get to detain you indefinitely.
Well, that's Guantanamo Bay, right?
Get a lawyer.
Like,
yeah. And she just like goes into detail about the CIA and like the whistleblowers who are like, waterboarding is torture, America's still doing this, and then they just get like their fucking lives ruined because they. And I'm like, maybe I should read something else. I have that book, and then how Big Pharma killed America, and I was like,
the truth is devastating.
I don't know why I picked these out.
I love nonfiction too, but you've always been like drawn towards pain and struggle.
I like knowing why things are the way they are.
Absolutely. I think that's just like human curiosity, but like your curiosities are like, why is everything so fucked up? You know?
Why? It is an obsession. I don't understand it. I don't understand it.
Well, it's just everything happening all at once. It's the chaos, and sometimes there are patterns in the chaos. Because like you decide to keep your kid home from school one day, and that sort of like chain reactions into some other bullshit happening that we'll never even know about, but it happened.
The butterfly effect.
Yeah.
The Mothman prophecies.
Which I never saw the butterfly effect. I think on principle, because it had Ashton Kutcher in it or something.
Does he suck?
I've never had any like respect for his art, but I have not seen him act seriously. I mean, he was funny as Kelso in that 70s show, but that's all I got.
Yeah.
I'm so happy to be here.
On that note, I've got to go to the doctor. Oh, ooh. We're right on time. That SD card is about to
That's my D card.
We should have done a special 4-hour episode today.
If only.
So much to catch up on.
If only.
I feel better. I feel like I've released some cerebral steam.
Absolutely.
We've reconnected.
I have 4 ravioli tonight.
You got 4 ravioli tonight.
Yesterday I just languished doing nothing, and it's like the routine, like imposing the routine on yourself versus not. This morning I got up, made my coffee, washed my dishes, read my book, went to the gym, took a shower, came here. It's like having that regimen. It's like I feel like I'm on fire. Yesterday I was like torporific. So I don't know, just noticing when I need to impose onto myself to do stuff.
I gotta wash my fucking hair. Anyways.
Blessings abound.
Goodbye,
to
everybody.
you and yours.